My name is Emily Carter. For a long time, I was invisible. There was a winter when my entire world was the driver's seat of an old car. That car was my bedroom, my shelter, my quiet place to cry. Every night, I parked near a gas station because it felt safer. I learned how to sleep hungry, how to wake up cold, and how to pretend I was fine when the world stopped looking at me as human. I wasn't always homeless. I grew up believing that hard work could fix anything. I studied materials science and fell in love with nanotechnology, the power of tiny things to change the world. I worked 3 jobs, studied at night, and dreamed of building a company that could make medicine smarter and energy cleaner. I had no money, no connections, only belief. I thought passion would be enough. I was wrong. The startup failed before it even had a name. The investor pulled out. The lease ended. My savings disappeared. One month I had an apartment. The next I didn't. I packed my life into 2 suitcases and sat on the sidewalk pretending I was waiting for someone. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Hope felt heavier than hunger. And every night I wondered how someone with dreams ended up with nothing. Being homeless changes you. I showered at a gym I could barely afford. I washed my clothes in public sinks and wore the same outfit to interviews, praying no one noticed. Interviewers smiled and said, "We'll call you." They never did. At night, I wrote business ideas in a notebook under phone light. My hands shook from the cold, but my mind refused to quit. A small government grant saved my life. It wasn't big, but it was enough to rent shared lab space and eat real meals again. I started over. One last try. I built a tiny nanotech company focused on advanced medical materials. No fancy office, no team, just silence, pressure, and belief. Progress was slow, painful, but real. For the first time in years, I felt like I was moving forward again. As the company grew, I hired someone I trusted deeply. He knew our research, our formulas, our future. I treated him like family. That trust destroyed us.
I'm very optimistic.
He sold our
about this
confidential data to a competitor. I discovered it when their product appeared almost identical to ours.
The parameters
Investors
are stable
panicked.
across the
Partners
board.
left. Legal fees drained
Yes, the green
everything.
indicator confirms it.
Overnight,
We
we
finally
stood
did
at the
it.
edge of bankruptcy once again. I sat alone in the lab at 2 in the morning, staring at equipment I might have to sell. I had escaped homelessness only to face failure again. I asked myself if I was meant to lose forever. Then I remembered sleeping in my car, holding that notebook. I told myself this. I didn't survive that darkness just to give up now. If I fell, I would stand up again stronger. Then came the breakthrough. A major US hospital tested our nanomaterial for next-generation implants. The results shocked everyone. Stronger performance, lower rejection rates, cleaner integration with the human body. Contracts followed. Partnerships followed. The company that almost collapsed became the strongest nanotechnology firm in American, by noise, but by impact. Today, my company employs hundreds of people. Our technology is used in medicine, energy, and aerospace. I have an office with glass walls and a view I once thought belonged to other people. But I never forget that car, those nights, that hunger. Because success doesn't erase pain, it gives it meaning. And sometimes, losing everything is how you build something unbreakable. Success didn't arrive with fireworks. It arrived quietly. One morning, I sat alone in my office before anyone else showed up, watching the city wake up through glass walls. I realized I wasn't excited or proud the way movies describe success. I felt calm, safe. For the first time, my body believed the fight was over. That feeling mattered more than applause or headlines ever could. Money solved problems, but it didn't erase fear. Even after the company stabilized, I checked every contract twice. I questioned motives. I trusted systems more than smiles. Betrayal changes your instincts forever. Some people call it paranoia. I call it survival intelligence. That caution didn't weaken my leadership, protected everything I had built from collapse. One afternoon, a young engineer stopped me in the hallway. He said he used to sleep in his car too. He said my story helped him survive his darkest year. I didn't know what to say. I only nodded. In that moment, success stopped being about profit. It became proof that surviving is possible, even when life tries to erase you completely. I began funding scholarships quietly. No press, no announcements, just help. I didn't want gratitude, I wanted momentum. I knew what it felt like to need one chance, not sympathy. Every student I supported reminded me of the person I used to be: hungry, stubborn, exhausted, but still dreaming in the dark. People often asked about the employee who betrayed me. Did I hate him? No. Hate wastes energy. What he took forced me to grow faster and smarter. Some people don't destroy you, they sharpen you. Looking back, I realized his betrayal became part of my training, painful, but necessary. At night, sleep doesn't always come easily, not because of stress, but because my body remembers survival mode. Trauma doesn't disappear with success, it stays quiet, waiting. But now, when anxiety comes, I remind myself that I'm no longer fighting to survive, I'm choosing how to live. That difference changes everything. I still keep the old notebook in my desk drawer. The pages are worn, the handwriting messy. But those notes were written by someone who refused to quit quietly. That version of me had nothing except courage. Every patent, every contract, every achievement traces back to those words written in the dark. When people ask for advice, I don't give slogans, I tell the truth. Hard work doesn't guarantee success. Integrity doesn't prevent betrayal. Talent doesn't save you from failure. But persistence, quiet, stubborn persistence, changes the odds when nothing else will. It's not glamorous, it's effective. Even now, I sometimes feel like an outsider. Boardrooms don't erase your past, they just hide it better. But I stopped apologizing for where I came from. Hunger taught me discipline. Homelessness taught me humility. Betrayal taught me boundaries. Those lessons built my company more than any degree ever did. I no longer chase validation. If people doubt me, I let them. Proof doesn't argue. Results speak when words fail. The quieter I became, the louder my work sounded. Confidence didn't come from praise, it came from surviving what should have ended me. Sometimes I drive past the gas station where I used to park. I sit there for a moment, engine off. Not in pain but in respect. That place held me when nothing else did. I thank the version of myself who didn't quit, even when quitting would have been understandable. Success is lonely in ways people don't talk about. You outgrow old conversations, old fears, old versions of yourself. But you gain clarity. I know who I am now. I know what I can survive. That knowledge is permanent. It can't be taken away. If you're listening to this while struggling, hear me clearly. Your current situation is not evidence of your limits. It's evidence of your endurance. You are not weak for being tired. You are strong for continuing anyway, even when no one is watching. The world rewards results, not effort. That truth hurts, but it's freeing. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You need patience, discipline, and the courage to keep going when applause never comes. I learned that effort is invisible until results appear. For years, no one clapped for my late nights or empty stomach. The world only noticed when success became undeniable. That realization changed how I worked. I stopped explaining myself. I stopped seeking understanding. I focused on building quietly, letting results speak when words were no longer necessary. There are moments when success feels unreal. I'll be in a meeting, surrounded by executives, and suddenly remember counting coins for gas. That contrast humbles me. It reminds me that comfort is temporary, but character is permanent. I never forget how fast life can take everything away because I've lived it. People see confidence now. They don't see the fear underneath it. Confidence wasn't born from winning. It was built from surviving loss after loss without breaking. Every scar taught me restraint. Every setback taught me patience. Strength didn't arrive suddenly, it accumulated slowly, painfully, over time. I became careful about who I let close. Not everyone deserves access to your dreams. Some people only want the view, not the climb. I learned to protect my ideas, my energy, and my peace. Boundaries became a form of self-respect, not bitterness. If I could speak to my younger self, I wouldn't promise success, I would promise survival. I would say, you're going to hurt more than you expect, but you'll endure. Because endurance changes you. It strips away illusion and leaves only what's real, and what's real is enough to build a future. I no longer fear losing everything. I know who I become when nothing is left, and that person is capable, disciplined, and unbreakable. Success gave me comfort, but hardship gave me identity. And that is something no failure, no betrayal, no collapse can ever take away. I don't tell this story to be admired. I tell it so someone out there knows they are not broken beyond repair. I started with nothing but determination, lost everything more than once, and still found a way forward. Life didn't become easier, I became stronger. And if my journey means anything at all, it's this. No matter how far you fall, you can always stand up again and build a future that no one can take from you.